Good day, Stardust. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Stephanie and I have a passion for divination. In today's video, we are going to be talking about black mirrors. We are going to learn how to purify and cleanse a black mirror for the purpose of scrying and divination. But before we dive into this video, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers so I can be part of the YouTube partnership program. Snow Owl Crystals is a fairly new channel and I'm striving to grow and expand it. So I want to continue making insightful and awesome metaphysical videos for you, dear viewer. So if you jive with my vibe, please subscribe, as your help would be ever so greatly appreciated. I'm super excited to be sharing with you my homemade black mirror. So this is my black mirror that I use for scrying and divination. I got this beautiful frame at a thrift store, secondhand, and I really felt it was synchronicity the way that I found this frame because I was on the hunt for something specific. I needed the frame to be silver. Ideally, I would have preferred it to be oval, but I got a compromise with this curved corner of this rectangular shape. And the fact that I saw 3 roses right there at the top is absolutely amazing because I have an affinity for roses. They're very symbolic for me. So it's somewhat vintage. It's not an antique, but it has a kind of like going to grandma's house kind of feeling. And I love that it has ribbons and it has like bows and the 3 flowers and this beautiful kind of like curvature here. And I really love the design of the frame, and it actually was the perfect size. So I was just over the moon that I found a couple of the elements that I was looking for because I wanted to construct my very own black mirror. And if you're interested in that, I do have a video on my YouTube channel, a do-it-yourself tutorial on how I made this specific black mirror. I go through all of the steps, so if you're interested in that, please check it out. So the reason why I was looking for silver, it's that when you're doing divination, silver is a very powerful color. Silver is associated with the lunar cycles, with the moon, as well as with divine feminine energies. So since we're dealing with nocturnal, night and lunar energies, it's great for psychic abilities, clairvoyance, visions, intuition. So the color silver really does magnify these types of psychic abilities. So because I'm using this for divination, I definitely needed it to be silver. Now, if I was unable to find something silver, I was going to paint the frame silver. So I'm glad that it worked out perfectly. And the 3 roses right here, I love the fact that it's the number 3, which is really spiritual in nature and has significance for me, and as well as with roses, which always have high frequencies. So it has absolutely all of the elements, and it has a bit of a curve here. So it's a little bit oval, but it's still a pretty rectangular shape. So I was just so pleased that I constructed this, and I've been using this black mirror recently, and I've been getting a lot of really great results. And I wanted to do a video on how to cleanse and purify your black mirror. And stay tuned to my next video on how to consecrate your black mirror for scrying and divination work. With any type of magical tool, you have to be mindful, you have to be respectful, and you have to treat it with respect and TLC. So here's a few side notes on how to take care of your black mirror. First of all, you want to pick a cover, a sheet, that's going to be the black mirror's cover. Not only is it going to house your black mirror, but it's going to be kind of like closing the door when you're done your divination work, because we have to keep in mind that there's a metaphysical principle that black mirrors, mirrors in general, or any type of reflective service has the potential to become a portal, a doorway to what lies beyond the veil, the other side, or a doorway to other dimensions. So you want to keep it covered when you're not using it for magical purposes, spiritual purposes, scrying, or divination, because you want to keep the door closed. And if you don't respect these types of scrying objects, bad things could happen. So you don't want to take any chances. You don't have to be, it's not about being superstitious, it's just a metaphysical principle. You have to treat these objects with respect and care. So with that said, make sure that you always have a cover. Pick the cover, it doesn't matter what color. I chose this dark orange color, and it's now going to be permanently bonded with the black mirror. This towel is not going to be used for anything else. It's always going to stay with my black mirror. And then ensure that you store your black mirror in a dark, safe, and dry place, because when you're using black mirrors, you don't want anyone to touch it, mess with it, and mix up their energies with your energies. Again, if you do so, sometimes not so good things can happen. So make sure that you keep it away from your friends and family, and you store it either in a box, in a drawer, and that it's always dry. The last thing I'm going to say is that with black mirrors, you want to make sure that it's in tune with the energies of the night. So use black mirrors when it's dark outside, preferably after midnight. And it doesn't really matter which moon phase, but you want it to have the charge of the lunar cycles, the moon, the night, the stars, and it is a nocturnal energy and magical tool. So you would not just put your black mirror on your bookcase and allow the sunlight of the day to touch it. You don't want to mix the different energies. You really want to concentrate certain types of energies when using a black mirror. So that's my last little tip. And let's get into more about black mirrors. Ta-da! I wanted to show you the art of black mirror scrying. This is absolutely my favorite book. I love it. It's by Rosemary Ellen Gulley. She is a leading expert in the paranormal, metaphysical, and an expert with black mirrors, scrying, as well as black obsidian disc. So this book teaches you everything you need to know about black mirrors and scrying in general. She goes through the history, and she, like I said, she includes black obsidian disc. She goes into a lot of the different visions that you get and how to build a black mirror. So this is absolutely the best book on the market on black mirrors. So I highly, highly recommend this book. And I've referenced it many times in my videos. We cleanse magical items because we want to clear residual energy, as well as break stagnant energy, and to cleanse negative energy, as well as we want to program and we want to purify the environment, the object, and the conduit of any types of energies that could be blocks, lower frequencies, or just stuck. We want to clear, and then we want to amplify that energy for positive intentions and outcomes. So this is the metaphysical principle behind the idea of why do we have to cleanse and purify all of these divination tools or magical objects. Because we're using them in a sacred way, we want to have the best results, and to do so we have to think about energy, how everything is made up of energy, and we have, through our intent and our will, the ability to rise or lower that frequency. And there's a lot of different types of methods, and I'm going to get into that in just a moment, but it's just so important, especially with a black mirror for the purpose of scrying and divination, that you clear, cleanse, and purify the different types of energies that are potentially attached to the black mirror. You might be wondering, what is residual energy? Residual energy are vibrational frequencies that have accumulated over time over a person, environment, or object. In other words, these energies are echoes of the past. They are the sum total of life events, which include positive or negative experiences. Most of the time, residual energy is associated with traumatic, painful, and negative events that lie in the lower density frequency range. They're heavier and often difficult to move or transmute if no one notices them, or if it's just left there and no one pays attention to it. That's when it becomes residual. Secondhand objects have residual energy, especially if you're going to thrift stores, secondhand, antique shops. It's going to have residual energy on the object. That's a given, okay? There's no escaping that. And you really want to make sure that no residual energies stay present in your current environment or when you're using the object. So that's why it's very important to clear the residual energy from any secondhand object that you may be using for scrying or divination, or even any type of spiritual work. Residual energies are created by the store they are housed in and the customers that may have touched the object, or just being in a crowd for long periods of time. The same principle applies to new objects when they are created in factories and are handed by multiple people in the merchandising or storefronts, or when they do shipments on airplanes or by car. Residual energy acts as a memory stick, and it remembers everything and everyone that it has been in contact with. Objects are not just things, they actually absorb. So everything is made up of energy. So if everything is made up of energy, it has the potential to transmute its energy towards the energy frequencies of its environment. And although it's not a living thing, there is a spiritual principle behind the fact that objects are in some concepts alive in the sense of their energy frequency. But the point here in this video for residual energy is that it does collect the residual energy just like an object collects dust in real life. So when you use it in your current home, you have to make sure that you cleanse the object, or else you're going to get some weird phenomena or some weird feelings of the residual energies of that object. Now let's get into stagnant energy. You may or may not know what it is, but let's review it. Stagnant energy are vibrational frequencies that have accumulated and are now restrictive, dense, and diffuse of qi. They are like the dust bunnies of energies. Again, this can be seen over a person, environment, or object. Since we are talking about black mirrors, an object, stagnant energy is more neutral in the sense that it's just dead energy. So think of stagnant energy as dead energy, chi energy that's diffused or lack of. This could be due, for example, if an object has been forgotten for several years and has no purpose or value. So it's been forgotten, it's alone, it's been isolated, or in the dark even. You would want to ensure that the stagnant energy is removed on an object, especially for magical work, because you want to energize the object. You want to bring it back to life to serve your spiritual work. To do so, you need to recharge the object with chi energy. In traditional Chinese medicine, qi was believed to be the life force that runs through each individual. Qi is an energy current that passes through the inside and outside of the body, and also through physical objects too. So everything in matter has a form of qi energy because everything is made up of molecules and energy patterns. Clearing an object and infusing it with a positive will and intent can give the object chi and amplify its energies. So what does cleansing do to objects? Cleansing can be done over a person, environment, or object. Again, we're talking about black mirrors, so we're focusing on objects. Negative energy can occur for a variety of reasons. There could be a violent or emotional event, evil entities, depression, or negative thoughts, repetitive patterns over time, chaos and chaotic energies. This could be due to multiple reasons. If we're focusing on objects, then it would be the environment. Therefore, the crowd or social environment over time will accumulate a certain type of energy frequency. And most of the time, it's apathy and lower frequency range energies. Therefore, cleansing and cleansing rituals can remove and clear negative energies and are considered to be part of spiritual hygiene practices. That's right, spiritual hygiene. We are going to be going over some cleansing methods in this video specifically for your black mirror and how to cleanse objects for purification. But how do you purify energy? You want to purify your black mirror because you want the highest vibrational potential to work with. This not only protects you from negative entities, but it makes the object vibrate at a higher density. Once it does, you will have more positive experiences with your black mirror as a divination tool. You may be wondering, what are some methods to cleanse and purify a black mirror? Okay. Let's get into some approaches. Water. Yes, water is a beautiful and wonderful cleansing medium to use for any type of magical object, spiritual work, scrying, or divination. You can do so much with water. So I'm just going to review a couple aspects of how to use water to cleanse and purify. If you want to cleanse objects, you can do a cleansing with river water or with rain water. If you're at a spring or waterfall, that's even better. But not all of us have access to rivers and springs and waterfalls, especially if you live in the city like I do. It's just not very feasible. However, you could do an attempt for rainwater. That's because it's tied to Mother Gaia and the nature as a whole. So it has a holistic, high vibrational frequency, and you can use water to cleanse objects. You can even take it to another level and charge your water to change the frequencies, and there's a lot of research documents on how you can change the molecules and the frequencies within water with either sound or light or your intent. But if you're just using water as a whole for cleansing, I would suggest river water and just sprinkling it on your black mirror. Now, we can also use water to cleanse and purify your black mirror if you have a belief system in using holy water. So you can use holy water in any of your chosen faith, or you can bless the water with mantras and prayers, and or just holding your hands over the water to charge the water to then bless the object that you're using. These are all different types of methods. You can also use, which is one of my favorites, and that's just using salt and water. I would prefer using sea salt or Himalayan salt when putting it in water. And you just mix the solution, and then you can either anoint it with your fingers or with a feather or a fan or something of your choosing, and just anoint the black mirror with the salt water to cleanse and purify it. But what I did with my black mirror is I used, ta-da, moon water. So this is a little jar of moon water that I created. And moon water is basically water that has been set out either by the windowsill, out on the balcony, or if you're able to, left outside, but that it looks at the night's sky at night. And depending on which lunar phase you want to charge the moon water with, for this purpose I use the full moon, because the full moon in the lunar cycle is at its climax. It's at its maximum manifestation, maximum potential, wonderful feminine, divine feminine energies. So I left this water out by my windowsill because I'm in an apartment and it's getting kind of cold, so I'm not going to leave it outside. And I did it the day before, day of, and day after of the full moon. So it charged the water. Now you have to do some kind of prayer or mental magic or some kind of intention, drawing down the energies of the moon into your moon water for the purpose of purification and to raise its frequency, its vibration for ultimate magical purposes. So with moon water, the last thing I'm going to say is that you never expose it to direct sunlight in the daytime, because it's meant to be kept in the dark. So like I said, black mirrors as well as moon water, they are nocturnal objects and practices. So you want to keep that in the frequency and energies of the nightfall. And it's really going to help to induce that psychic ability and lunar energy. So I used this moon water to consume for purification of myself, my environment. I sprinkled it at the four corners and as well as the four corners of my black mirror. So that is just one suggestion on how you can cleanse and purify your black mirror with the wonderful methods of water. I already briefly mentioned it, but we're going to talk about salt. Salt is another method to cleanse objects. Now you can use regular table salt if that's all you have at your availability, but I recommend pink Himalayan salt. Pink Himalayan salt is my absolute favorite. Otherwise, try to get sea salt if you can. So you, when in relation to cleansing your black mirror, like I said, you can mix the salt with water in a little solution, and then you can sprinkle it, and then it purifies. Salt has amazing cleansing properties. It's been used in spirituality and in all kinds of religious backgrounds for purification, cleansing, and dispelling of negative energies, and dispelling curses or anything of the dark side, negative entities and whatnot. So salt is your go-to. So yeah, you can just mix it in with water, sprinkle it on your black mirror. But say you don't want to get your black mirror wet for whatever purpose. You can use the dry method, and I love the dry method. I actually use the dry method a lot of times. Basically, you just put just a little bit of salt. You don't have to put a lot, just a little bit of salt in a Tupperware, and you just put your black mirror in it, and you can leave it in there for a few hours or a few minutes, whatever you prefer, or you can just, with your will and intent, just kind of cleanse the energy. But if you're using the dry method with salt for a black mirror, I would leave it for at least a good 30 minutes. That's just me. And to make sure to do this in the nighttime, because again, we want those nighttime energies. So that's another method for cleansing and purification. Another method is fire. I'm not sure if you can see it, but I have a beautiful candle here that's lit, and it's Mother Mary and baby Jesus. So fire is another way that you can cleanse objects. So what you would do with your black mirror is you would light a candle, preferably white, because white is about purity. And if you want to go even another level, you can go do your go-to for your either archangel or saints or any type of deity, god or goddess. I went with the Virgin Mary because I wanted to tie in a little bit of the feminine energies. By the way, I did cleanse my mirror several times, pretty much with all of these methods at different moments in time. So I really wanted to mention that you can cleanse magical objects with candles. All you have to do is you take the object and pass it over the flame, and you can say a prayer, but there is cleansing properties with using a white candle and with open flame. Two other quick tips for proper spiritual practices that could be steeped in superstition, but it's just good practice. When you're lighting candles, try to get into the habit, if you want, to using matches. Match boxes versus lighters. There's just more of a natural connection to the fire and earth elements when using match sticks as opposed to a lighter, because a lighter has gas. That's just a little tip and trick. And also always use a candle snuffer when extinguishing candles, because there is a metaphysical principle that if you blow on an open flame, it's bad luck. In some traditions, it's blowing your spirit away or blowing away the energy, and you don't want that. So always either snuff it out with your hand or with a candle light snuffer such as this, and you just go over the flame, boop, and there we go. And this is just a magical spiritual practice that you can implement if you so choose, or if it resonates with you. Another method that's used for cleansing that's not often talked about is using the element of earth. So if you're accustomed to working with the elementals, you can use the elementals to cleanse either the environment, the object, or yourself at any time for any purpose. But for cleansing an object such as the black mirror, I wanted to showcase here. So I have some earth, And you can actually sprinkle the earth on the black mirror because it's tied with the with Gaia, Mother Nature, Mother Earth, and the energies of the earth. It has the potential to cleanse and to raise its frequencies. If you want to use the other elements as well, like with air, you would use either some kind of like fan or something to do with the wind, fire like we used with the candle, and water as you were using for with water or with salt water. So you can use the elements and or call the elementals if that's your preferred spiritual path. But you can always sprinkle just a little bit of earth on your black mirror, and it actually is going to cleanse it as well. So I wanted to mention, you know, the potentiality of using Mother Nature's earth. Have you ever thought of using sound? Well, sound is an excellent method to cleanse and purify any object. Sound cleansing clears bad, negative vibrations. It has the potential to clear negative energy away from your home, object, or person. Sound has healing properties. Sharp, sudden sounds, often metallic ones, vibrate on a frequency beyond what our ears can detect, which allows the atmosphere to resonate in a harmony, and it can neutralize any negativity in that space. So these sound frequencies can penetrate residual energy, stagnant energy, negative energy, blocked energy, and it can get rid of it. And not only that, but it is probably one of the best methods to raise the frequency. So if you want to have high vibrations, high vibes, high frequency at the highest octave possible for your spiritual work, scrying, divination purpose, to really reach those higher realms of densities, sound can definitely take you there, and it's often overlooked as a cleansing method, but I wanted to mention it here because I love cleansing objects by using sound vibrations. So if you're planning to use sound to cleanse your black mirror, you can always look on YouTube and find some music that has high frequencies or something that resonates with you. Or if you're lucky, you can use a singing bowl. This is my singing bowl, and it's tuned to the third eye chakra. And I oftentimes cleanse objects using my singing bowl. And you just do a little sound. Then it just clears the energy. If you don't have a singing bowl, what I use sometimes is just a simple bell. So this is my bell, and I just go like this. So at the four corners of the black mirror, I oftentimes break up the stagnant energies, and I find that bells work really well, and you just go gone, gone, break up, break up. So yeah, so I just wanted to share those two methods with you. So absolutely, if you prefer incense or essential oils, there's so many different ways that you can cleanse an object. I have a myrrh right here. Just want to show you that. And then I have some frankincense right here. And some sage incense. And I did mention sandalwood, but I actually don't have sandalwood anymore. I used it up. So I have some lavender oil, which always has really good high vibration. So you can use lavender, or you can use sandalwood or the essential oil of your choice. And if you have a diffuser, ta-da, you can just have your black mirror and just pass the black mirror through your diffuser, through the vapor and everything, and it will cleanse your black mirror for wonderful cleansing, releasing the energies. And of course, while you're doing all of this, I don't think I mentioned, but make sure that you have a window open in your home or apartment to allow the energies to be released, to escape, so they don't find new homes under your bed or in your closet. You want to release that energy and you want to throw it right outside the window. So these are some other methods. Next up, we have crystals. These are selenite slabs. So I have a huge chunk here and a little chunk here. And selenite is my favorite crystal to work with. It can charge other crystals. It always stays at its charge. It doesn't even need to be recharged. And it has amazing vibrational frequencies for purification. And it just hits those high vibrational notes. So if you're using selenite to cleanse your black mirror, all you have to do is just run the slab front and back on your black mirror, and it will cleanse away any of the negative energies. Now, if you don't have selenite, you can always use clear quartz. Clear quartz does vibrate at high frequencies, so you can use clear quartz to cleanse the mirror. In the same way, you just run it front and back, or however method you want. And if you even want to take it a step further, you can even create a crystal grid with crystals of your choosing. Again, I would have selenite somewhere in there, and charge, cleanse, purify your black mirror by kind of like, so a crystal grid are crystals in a specific pattern, usually a geometric pattern, for the will and intention of a purpose. So you can create a crystal grid and put the crystals around the black mirror, and you can leave it overnight or keep it locked away in a drawer for a little while to have the black mirror charged by the crystals of your choosing in that crystal grid. So these are, just little ideas to get your imagination going on how fun and wonderful it is to purify objects. Here we have some feathers. Feathers are absolutely wonderful to cleanse and purify and move away energies. We see different types of bird feathers in various Native American and Aboriginal ceremonies and traditions. And if you're lucky enough to get an authentic eagle feather, the energies associated with the eagle are very sacred, very high vibrations, and should be honored and treated with respect. I was given this eagle feather in my teens by a psychic medium that I saw, and she said to always look after it, as it was given to her by one of the chiefs in a Native American tribe. So I've always honored this specific eagle feather and used it to cleanse. So I have this turkey feather right here, and this turkey feather was just given to me by a family member. And turkey feathers are also very useful in cleansing. So you can do that. This was said to be a crow feather, but I still feel like it's not real. I don't feel like it's real, even though the person that gave it to me said that it was real. I just don't feel like it is. But regardless, I love crows, so I still use it as a feather. And you can use feathers to cleanse with sage. You can use them as a bundle. I don't have a feather fan bundle, but you can certainly create one or purchase one. And that will be very useful for smudging, cleansing the energies, and moving the energies around. But if you don't, just use the feathers that resonate with you, and then you just use them to smudge the smoke away. Again, you never blow on smoke of sage, because it's said to blow your spirit away. So you want to ensure that you always move the smoke with the feathers in any motion or movement that you feel drawn to. But I absolutely love feathers to cleanse and purify. Now, you don't need to use sage when using feathers. You can certainly just cleanse your black mirror with a feather. It will cleanse the energy, or you can do an aura cleanse with a feather, and or cleansing the house with feathers. So there's different purposes, but I wanted to mention that feathers are absolutely beautiful and lovely to use when cleansing and purifying energies, and you should just keep that in mind. And again, respect the totem animals of the great spirit birds that have blessed us with feathers to use in ceremonies and in spirituality. So yeah. Burning sage and smudging is my all-time favorite method for cleansing and purifying not only objects but the environment and your person, and it's just the utmost amazing method for spiritual hygiene, for any type of spiritual work. For this purpose of a black mirror, I definitely used sage to cleanse. When I got the frame from the thrift store, I smudged it right away, and then I cleaned it under water. And then as I was building the black mirror, I also saged it. So I saged it multiple times, but when you're doing just a cleansing ritual, you can use sage. Now, sage has been used by Native Americans, Aboriginals, and indigenous peoples from a variety of cultures around the world throughout the centuries. Sage is a sacred herb to the Native American traditions. Therefore, I just want to do a little reminder to respect and honor Aboriginals, Native Americans, and indigenous peoples for using and upholding this sacred herb that is for spiritual purposes. The way that they use it for their ceremonies, for their tribes, and the way that they cultivate the sage is sacred, and I just want to honor that. There is a little bit of mindfulness involved when cultivating and the consumership of sage as a merchandise. Sometimes it's not cultivated ethically. Profits don't go to Aboriginal residences or groups, and I just want to try to be mindful to purchase sage or sage products from local tribes if possible, or to try to find metaphysical stores that try to find really good organic and holistic and ethically mindful vendors of the sage, because it's not just part of our consumership. Everyone on Mother Earth has a divine right to this amazing gift of sage. It has so many different properties, so many healing and cleansing properties. And I just wanted to show that I get this mountain sage. It's organic, and it has no preservatives or artificial ingredients. And I'll post a link in the description box below if anyone wants to see how I got this sage. So that's what I use. And I mostly use sage in this method right here, in an iron cast pan, and a little bit of sage there. You can use a seashell as well as a sage stick or a sage bundle. As you can see here, I've used this bundle for a long time, and this is just one other method that you can use. So when I use this sage, I actually try to honor the traditions associated with it from various different types of Aboriginal peoples. So yeah, and when you light sage, again, it's always a best metaphysical practice to use matchsticks. That almost fell on the ground. It's just considered to be more in alignment with spirituality as opposed to a lighter. So now I'm going to share with you how I cleanse with sage. This is for general purposes as well as when I cleansed my black mirror. So I don't just go right into cleansing with sage with the object. If you want to follow different types of Native American traditions, there is various tribes that share their ceremonies and how they smudge, and the spiritual traditions of smudging that you can find online or through YouTube videos. I have a specific method that I use, and I'm going to share that with you now. Now, the reason why I like iron is I have a spiritual belief that iron actually dispels any type of negative entities, demons, or anything of low frequencies. So when you pair that with sage, it's absolutely wonderful. It's going to be double powerful. So I just use a little bit of sage, and you put it in a ball just like that, and that's how you prepare it. But before you go right into the sage, you just take a few moments to do a little bit of gratitude. And I'm just going to show here, this is some tobacco mixed with cedar and some sea salt. And the tobacco is actually very sacred in shamanic and Aboriginal traditions. And what I use with the tobacco is that I will face myself to Mother Earth and Father Sky, and I will give an offering of tobacco to them, because there's this whole principle of gratitude and reciprocal energies, like if you, like as above, so below, and if you ask for something, you want to give something. So there's that energetic principle. So it's just good at etiquettes to give an offering, which is in the form of tobacco. Now I either spread it to the wind, or if I'm outside, I just put it by a tree. So I can do that. So after I do that, then I smudge myself, because in my mind, how can I smudge an object if I'm not smudging myself? So this is spiritual hygiene, clearing your aura, and just making sure that you are at a high frequency when you're entering into that state of wanting to cleanse objects for whatever purpose. So I'll share with you now a prayer to give thanks that I often say while giving the offering of the tobacco.
Today we give thanks for our many blessings. Today we give thanks to the Creator for so much fortune and what we have been given. We give thanks for the sky above and the earth below. We give thanks for Mother Earth and Father Sky. We give thanks to the elements and the animals and all life in the universe. We give thanks for the rising of the sun and the moon. We give thanks to them. We have been offered the sun and the moon to use. We give thanks for the beauty of our surroundings. We give thanks to them, all things beautiful in this place we have been given. We give thanks for our parents who brought us into this world and taught us about life. Thank you both for this life we are given, mother and father. We give thanks for our brothers and sisters who shared our childhood with us. We all thank you today together who were raised here with us, brothers and sisters. We give thanks for our friends who have journeyed along life's path with us. We are thankful for our friends who walked along with us. We give thanks for the laughter of the children. We are thankful for them, the laughter and the happiness our children they have. And we give thanks for the love in our hearts. We all thank you for this love in our hearts we have.
Okay, so I'm not gonna light it now just for the cameras and all this stuff, but I wanted to share with you how I do my spiritual hygiene before I cleanse. So you would ignite the sage, and if you don't have this method, that's fine. You can use incense, you can use sage oil, you can use it in a shell, or you can use it in a bundle stick, you know, whatever methods, but as long as you're using sage or white sage of some caliber. So now you want to start at the mouth, and I'm just going to, so when you're doing your spiritual hygiene, you start at the mouth to speak good things. So you're speaking good things and you're letting the smoke go over your mouth. And then you want the smoke to go over your eyes. And again, it's to see good things, to see good things. And then you want to go over your ears, to hear good things, to hear good things. And then you want it to go over your body, to walk a good path, to walk a good path. You can even put it on your feet, or not, to walk like my feet, to walk a good path on my spiritual journey. And then to the mind, to think good things, you know. So you want to make sure that you have the mind, body, and soul cleansed. Or you can focus on your aura, you know, your energetic body, your etheric body, however deep you want to go, or your chakra system, again, depending on how far you want to go with your spiritual hygiene with this, but basically you're cleansing that aspect of yourself. And then you want to bring the smoke to your heart, and you want to be in a loving gratitude state, like thank you for this sacred herb, you know, thank you for my life, and you want to thank the infinite creator, however belief system that you have. So you bring the smoke to your heart. So you want to end the spiritual hygiene smudging ritual at your heart by bringing the smoke on your heart. And now I'm going to share with you a smudging prayer.
May your hands be cleansed, that they create beautiful things. May your feet be cleansed, that they might take you where you most need to be. May your heart be cleansed, that you might hear its messages clearly. May your throat be cleansed, that you might speak rightly when words are needed. May your eyes be cleansed, that you might see the signs and wonders of the world. May this person and space be washed clean by the smoke of these fragrant plants. And may that same smoke carry our prayers, spiraling to the heavens.
So now I'm going to share with you a reenactment of how I did my cleansing and purification ritual for my beautiful black mirror. I would suggest, if you are going to reproduce this, to do it on the full moon. It's just so important to do it on the full moon. It has the best full energies, psychic, intuition, feminine, lunar energies. You know, it's just wonderful. So during a full moon, take out your black mirror, put out one candle, make sure it's dim lighting. I would recommend doing this at the stroke of midnight if possible, but if not, anytime after nightfall, make sure that the sun has set and the night sky is up, with beautiful stars and the infinite cosmos and galaxies above us. And then work on cleansing your black mirror. So next is going to be just the prayer that I said while cleansing my black mirror, as well as the sage and smudging smoke. So With that said, tell me, did you enjoy this video? Do you have a black mirror? If so, what has been your experience with black mirrors? Do you use it for divination? And if you're new to black mirrors, are you thinking of making one? And what has piqued your interest with black mirrors, or perhaps even black obsidian disc for the purpose of scrying and divination? Please share your stories, your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. I would really love to know your thoughts and feelings, and let's start a discussion. So, with that said, let's get into the cleansing of my black mirror. Universal Consciousness, Mother Earth Gaia, thank you for this white sage, sacred herb. May we work together with smoke to cleanse any heaviness and negativity at this time and release it with wind out the windows. The temple, my body. I release all energies that do not serve me. I release all attachments that do not serve me. I release all illnesses that do not serve me. I relinquish all pain that does not serve me. I rebalance my aura and my frequencies. I am born anew. The sacred space. Bless and cleanse this space. Make it sacred, make it safe. Cleanse this room from all the past and any stagnant energy that cannot last. Clear and activate the four corners of this room, north, south, east, west. With blessings from above, make this space peaceful like a dove. The object. I have this beautiful magical mirror that I received secondhand. Cleanse and clear the past, the present, from its frame, its glass, and make it brand new again. All negative energy is transmuting now into a higher frequency, highest octave. Be active now. With love and gratitude, Holy Spirit, please bless this space, me, this black mirror, to achieve the highest good and receive divine divination. Salutations, thanks, and grace. As I will it, so be it.